Hey smart people, Toby Salami here. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can dynamically fetch Google reviews from Google and show it inside of your listing just like this. You can design this listing to look anyhow you wish it to look, and you can put it anywhere you want to on your website. All you need is a few tricks, and I'm going to lay them bare for you inside of this video. So hit that like button so that more people get to see this. And if you're new here, subscribe to the YouTube channel because I release videos like this, very helpful ones, every single week. Okay, that's enough talk. Let's get this done, shall we? Let's start from here. The plugins. The only plugin you really need here is JetEngine. Every other plugin here really don't matter. You can make use of Elementor or Bricks or Gutenberg. Any page builder of your choice is entirely your choice. As long as it supports JetEngine, you're good to go. So let's make use of JetEngine. All we have to do is come inside of JetEngine. Just open JetEngine. That menu item right there. And then inside of here on the JetEngine dashboard, you want to ensure that you have REST API listings toggled on. This should be toggled on. And once it is, you're going to see REST API endpoints at the bottom right here. Once you're inside here, you want to click on New Endpoint. This simply helps you to get data from a REST API endpoint of your own choosing. So let's call this a name of our choice. In our case here, we're just going to call this Google Reviews for Walmart. Let's take a look at Walmart reviews, fetch it, and show it on our website. It's our choice where we want to fetch our reviews from, okay? Now, you need your API endpoint URL. And where are we going to get that from? Well, I'm going to leave a link to the Places API documentation. It's right there down below. You can click on it, find it, or you can just Google search Places API, and you'll be brought to this page right here. Inside of the Places API, you have the HTTP URL, which forms, of course, in this case, the endpoint URL that we need to get the particular details of any Google My Business account, such as Walmart, okay? Now, inside of the details retrieved from this URL will be the reviews. And we know that because if you scroll down, let's just come down here and take a look at the data returned inside of the Places detail response. Here, right here, you see that inside of the JavaScript object notation data that is returned, somewhere inside of it, you will find the reviews right there. Okay, so this is the kind of data we're expecting to receive. And inside of the reviews, it's a nested data here of the author name, author URL, the language, the profile photo URL, the rating, which is very good. We can translate that to a star rating on our website. You also have the actual review here as text, and the time here, which I assume is in timestamp. This is very, very good. We know that we have all of this, so we can make use of it. Now, to formulate our URL, we just won't copy this exactly the way we see it here, because we know that there's some data we need to change. For example, here we have output, which, as you can see here, it says that output can either be in JSON or XML. And I'm going to tell you for free that JetEngine lets you query JSON, JavaScript Object Notation, or JSON data to JetEngine. So we know that it's JSON that we need here. Okay, so let's copy all of this right here to this point. Just going to copy all of that and bring that inside of the endpoint URL here. And after which we need to add the output. In our case, we said it's going to be JSON, so we type JSON there. Now after that, of course, we also need to add the parameters. And what are those parameters going to be? We see here that we have required parameters, and the required one here is the place ID. So we're just going to copy place ID. We're going to come back inside of here, and of course, parameters in this case are like URL query variables. So we're just going to put a question mark to indicate that we're starting the request of a particular parameter, and the parameter is place ID, just as we copied from here. And then inside of it, we're going to put an equal to sign and then paste in our place ID. But that's if we know what our place ID is, right? So we need to get that. To get our place ID is also very, very simple. How do we get that? Very simple. We're just going to come inside of the reviews page right there on Google. Once we search for the business and we find it, in our case, we're looking for Walmart Brazil. We find it right here. We're just going to right click anywhere on the page. As long as it has the reviews right there on the page, you just want to right click on it and click inspect anywhere on the page. Okay. Now, we want to click on this icon right here that enables you to select any element. Once you select that, you want to come to the particular write your review button on this page. Once you come here, all you need to do is click. Now, when you click on it, you see it selected right there. Now, inside of the element here, that particular button, the place ID exists. Take a look at it. You're going to see data hyphen PID. PID, place ID. Yep, we got it. We got them. So we're just going to double click on it to select the place ID. We're going to right click and copy. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't only apply to Walmart Brazil. This applies to any Google My Business account that has Google reviews on them. Okay. So once we right click and we copy that place ID, we want to come back inside of JetEngine and then paste that place ID right there. Now we have one data down. We need one more parameter right here. And of course, if we add one parameter to any URL, to add more parameters, we're not going to use a question mark anymore. What we're going to use is the ampersand symbol, just like that. Okay. Now, after that, we're going to add the parameter key that we need. But which key is that? If we come back inside of Places API and just scroll down a bit, let's just come down and take a look at how the URL is formulated here. We see, apart from having the place ID right here, we also have the key, which is our API key. So we really do need to create an API key and then add that as key. Okay, so we can do that. We can come inside of here. We're just going to type in key and put equal to and paste in our API key. But from where? Well, that too is simple. We need to come inside of Cloud Console. I'm going to leave links to all of this in the description. You can very easily follow along by clicking on those links and creating this for yourself. Now, inside of your Google Cloud Console, you need to create a new project if you do not already have one. In my case, I'm just going to call this project any name of my choice, but feel free to call it anything you intend to call it. Let's call it Walmart Reviews. Walmart Reviews should be fine. We're just going to click on create. Now it's going to say it's creating the project right here. And then once it's done creating the project, we'll have the opportunity to select that project and then make changes to it. Let's do that right now. You can click on select project. And once we select that, it says that we're now viewing Walmart Reviews and you can see it right here. Okay, this is good. Now let's come inside of APIs and services. And once we're inside of here, we want to enable the Places API. Why? Because that, of course, is what we're looking at. That's the documentation we're looking at, right? So let's enable the Places API. That enables us to get the reviews for any Google business. So we're just going to type in here, Places API, and we search. We're going to have this two that looks similar. We have the Places API and we have Places API New. I'm just going to select the Places API New because, as you can see here, it features more than 200 million businesses. It's a step up from the more than 100 million businesses that the original Places API featured. Okay, so I'm just going to select the Places API New, and inside of here, I want to click on Enable. Now, if this is your first time using the Google Cloud Console account, you may be asked to enable billing, but do not be afraid. I have never gone above the quota ever in all of the years of making use of this, so I don't expect that you will, except you're a big company and you really need to rely, or your entire business needs to rely on this. But if you're just calling for Google reviews, as it is in my case, I don't expect you to ever be charged, but you would still need to enter your card details. Okay, now that that's out of the way, you have here your API key ready to go. All you need to do is copy that API key. If you have closed this previously, you just need to select the project and then come inside of there and click on keys and credentials. Inside of here, you're just going to find the API key under API keys. And that's it right there. And you can just click on show key and you can copy the key once again. The next thing you want to do here is come back inside of JetEngine and you want to paste that key right here. After key equal to, and then you want to paste in the key. Now that you do that, you're almost good to go. You want to click on send request and you see that the API endpoint is connected, which is good, but it says that the items has an incorrect format. The problem is that we don't know what the correct format is going to be, except we have a visual representation of what has been collected. Okay, so let's just copy the entire URL right here and make use of yet another tool. And this tool is called Postman. It's at web.postman.co. Again, it's a free tool. It will just help us to visualize the data that we're collecting from the Places API. Okay, once you create a Postman account and you've logged in, you'll be met with a page that looks just like this. You want to click on New Request where you have Send an API Request. And when you click on it, inside of New Requests, you want to paste in the URL you just copied. You want to leave it as a GET request and you want to paste that URL inside of here. As you can see here, it says that the query parameters such as place ID and key are what you see right here. And that's simply what you see right here inside of the URL. It means we formulated our URL correctly. So what's wrong? Let's click on send right now and see what data it returns. It says here that it has returned JSON data, and as you can see inside of here, it has lots of nested JSON data. If we scroll all the way down, we find somewhere at the bottom right here. Let's see if we have the reviews. Do we have the reviews? Let's scroll, and we have the reviews right here. Now, these lines which you see right here show you how deep inside of the nesting that this stuff is. And JetEngine kind of just wants you to be getting just the reviews alone so that it can return this data inside of your query for you. So you have each of this data as a listing item. That's what it essentially needs. But how do we get here? Of course, if we scroll all the way up, we see it's the third place. Of course, look at the line, just follow the line. It's the third line. The first one here, that's the first nesting. We're just going to come back inside of here and we have the / here to represent the first nesting here. And of course, that's what you see here. It says the items path should be represented by the / right here. So we add that first one and we get the result. So because it's inside of result that we have our reviews. Okay, so we're going to get result. We're just going to type in result here. And after that, we're going to put the / again. And we're going to scroll down until we find the reviews and see what it is called. We're following the third line here. Just keep that in mind. So scroll all the way down, following the third line here until we find reviews right there. So we're going to copy just like that, reviews. And we're going to come back inside of here and paste that right there. Okay. Now, once we have that done, let's click on send request again, see what we have. It says it's connected, and it also says the request was successfully sent and the sample item is fetched. Endpoint settings updated. Excellent. This is good. We want to turn on the cache, and of course, this is important because this will reduce the number of calls to the API. Remember, you created a billing account here. You don't want to be billed for how many times your pages are loaded. So please make use of the cache. It's good. It's important. All right. How long do you want the cache to last for? I don't expect my reviews to change every few minutes. So let me just say it should last for maybe a day, and that should be okay. Now we click on save and we're good to go. Once that is saved, we can come inside of Query Builder here and create a query based on that API endpoint. Let's click on Add New and just call this Query of Walmart Reviews. Inside of Query Type, we want to select here REST API Query and want to come down here and select that endpoint, which is Google Reviews for Walmart. Now, we can toggle on Preview Result, see what result it brings, and we see inside of here that it returns the author of the review. It also returns things like the language, the profile photo URL, which is very good. It also returns here the rating, which is 5-star for that particular review, and including the actual review text. Now, based on the review we find here and all of this data here, we can create a simple listing. In fact, let's do that. Let's click on Add Query and just build a listing for ourselves. Of course, what you choose to do with this now is entirely your choice. I trust you to be able to carry it on from here, but let's just create it for ourselves, shall we? We'll come to Listing Source. We're going to click on Query Builder because we just built the query, and we're going to select Query of Walmart Reviews as our query. And inside of Listing Item, we're just going to select Listing of All Reviews. And maybe put in bracket here, Walmart, okay? However badly spelled. Now we want to select the page builder of our choice and we want to click on Create Listing Item. Inside of here, it's very, very simple. All we need to do is just make use of the data returned to us right here. For example, I want to return 3 items inside of here. The first item I want to return here is the star rating. So I'm just going to get the rating, which is a widget that we can make use of here. And inside of here, we can select our rating. We can use a dynamic tag to fetch. In this case, I'm just going to use current object field. And inside of here, we want to select the object field name. And that's pretty simple. All we need to do is just copy, just like that. Rating, we're going to come back inside of here, paste that inside of there, and we have our rating fetched for us. I assume for this particular one, it's 5-star, so it's all right. We also want to fetch things like the name of the person who is making the review. I'm just going to make use of a dynamic field widget inside of here. Again, we're just going to type the object field right here. The object field in this case, we're just going to search for what represents the name. Here we have author name. We're just going to copy that, come back inside of here, paste that inside of there. We have that retrieved. We see that is Steve Lamb, and we also see that he has some reviews here, right here. So we can also return that inside of here. Let's add another dynamic field widget to return the review, his particular review. Going to paste that inside of here, and then of course for this review it's called text, so we're going to paste that inside of here. And now we also have the text right here. Now let me just style this. I don't want to bore you with this part. Let's make a decent style and we can go on. Okay, that's a simple style, nothing too fancy. We can click on publish and go ahead to make use of this listing on our page. Let's come now inside of our page by coming inside of the editor, and inside of here we just want to add a simple listing and listing grid widget here, and we want to select that listing we just created, and we call the listing of all reviews Walmart, and we can just simply make it equal column height if we so desire. Okay, now we can come and make this a slider if we so desire. This is entirely our choice, how we intend to make this happen. Once we're done with this, we can click on publish. We can come to the front end, see how things look in the front end by just clicking on refresh. And now we have our reviews fetched directly from Google and showing inside of our listing grid right here. But just keep in mind that this only works for reviews that are collected by anyone who has an API key. But if you own the business and you want to collect all of the reviews and not be limited by what Google provides you here, you would want to do something different from this. Let me know in the comment section below if that's something you want me to take a look at in the future, and I'll be happy to. But for now, this is how you can fetch reviews dynamically into WordPress from Google Reviews and have it show on your website. As always, I'd appreciate it if you can leave comments down below, even if all you have to say is thanks or leave me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that greatly. Also, it helps this video get to more and more people, so please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel if this is the kind of content you're interested in seeing. My name is Toby Salami, and until I come back with another dynamic WordPress video, stay dynamic.